Zdaj pa z veseljem med nami pozdravljam tudi Hansa Wolfa Zirkwitza, direktorja Urada za varstvo okolja v mestu Stuttgart. Predstavil bo delovanje občinskega sklada za projekte na področju učinkovite rabe energije, ki se stalno oplaja z ustvarjenimi finančnimi prihranki. Za prevod si ne pozabite nadeti slušalk, po predstavitvi pa upam, da boste gospodu Zirkwitzu vendarle zastavili kakšno vprašanje. Mr. Zirkwitz, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Dobar dan. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to thank the organizer, especially Gaia and her team, for inviting me to this conference and give me the chance to talk about one little piece of our puzzle in Stuttgart to reach the target of a sustainable city. We work on this piece more than 22 years, but we are still on the way. Like Mr. Schade told you, the sustainability is one of the big issues or the big challenges we are dealing with in Europe and also in Germany. And especially in Germany, there are a lot of communities who deal with these issues more than 20 years, but we are still on our way. So what I present to you are the result of 20 years work, especially concerning how we try to combine economical and ecological effects by implementing measures concerning energy efficiency. You heard about sustainability. Sustainability, I think there's about more than 100 definitions about sustainability. And like Mr. Schrader said, you have to define your own definition of sustainability. But what is important is you have to combine social, ecological, and economical aspects, and the fourth column is public participation. You need to integrate your local community, your inhabitants, because they have a lot of competences and a lot of know-how, and you need them to resolve the problems and the challenges on the way of sustainability. Before I get and show you some technical informations, I will give you some information about the city of Stuttgart. We are located in the south of Germany, and now I have to make it twice. I hope it works. Yeah. We are the capital of the state of Baden-Württemberg. We have about 600,000 inhabitants. We are the sixth biggest city in Germany, and we have 500,000, near 500,000 jobs. And when I talked about Stuttgart and when I ask you, Stuttgart, what do you know about Stuttgart? You say Daimler, Porsche, Bosch may be an example. But we are really an industrial location, that's right. And we also, I must say, we are a rich city. But on the other side, we are also one leading financial center after Frankfurt. We are on the second place. We are the location of lots of research and development centers. This is very important. But on the other side, we also are a green city. 30% of our area are under nature protection. And also, we are well known for our mineral dwellings. After Budapest, we are on the second place in Europe. So if you visit sometimes in Stuttgart, you have to use our mineral baths. We are well known. Concerning environmental policy, we have very ambitious climate protection policies. Our first climate protection concept was created in 1997, 20 years ago. And the last years, we make it more concrete. We are looking more on the themes like energy, like CO2 reduction, like energy efficiency. So we developed a new concept which we called Urbanisation of Energy Transition in Stuttgart, which was developed with a broad integration of our inhabitants, also our local actors like industry, like dwelling companies, like the craftsmen, like the trading. Everybody was involved in this process, and at least we have this concept which includes about 120 measures which we are now realized step by step. Actually, we worked on a master plan, 100% climate protection. This is a vision for the year 2050, and the target is to develop strategies how we can get a climate neutral city in the year 2050. This is also a target of our federal government. Our Chancellor Merkel said we have to be a neutral state up to 2050, and the communities, you have heard it already, they have a big role in this system because we are in direct contact with our partners, with our local actors, and we have also responsibilities. In Germany, the communities, they have a big responsibility for different things, especially for traffic, public traffic. We are responsible for sewage. We are responsible also for different things. But if you want to convince your partners to go with you on this way to be a sustainable city, I think, first of all, the administration have to act like a model for the others. We have first the challenge to show that all of these things we decided can be realized. And where do we have a direct influence? We have a direct influence on our municipal building stocks. I talked about administration buildings, I talked about schools, I talked about kindergartens. These are directly in responsibility by the administration, by the city administration. So we started the last 25 years a big refurbishing program and also sanitation program where we look at to reduce the energy consumption of our buildings. And the energy consumption, if you reduce the energy consumption or the water consumption, at the same time, you reduce the cost. Actually, for all of these buildings, we paid 66 million euros every year. As a result of all of these activities, we could reduce the CO2 reduction about 65%, and we could reduce the cost about 40%. So if we didn't act the last 20 years in this way, actually we have to pay about 100 million euros every year for energy. Actually we pay about 66. So this is, our treasurer is one of the biggest fan of this program. Because this 44 millions rest you can use for new kindergartens, for infrastructure, also for new energy saving measures. And we have a lot of standards by definition. For example, if we build new houses, new kindergartens, they have to be built 30% under legal standard, which is given by the federal law. If we refurbish our administration buildings, they have to be 20% under the legal. And all of this is done in an economical way. And one thing we used in this process, and this is only one thing of our sanitation program, is the principle of internal contracting. In the internal contracting, an office, or our office, we are responsible for the energy management and energy controlling of the public buildings. We propose a measure. For example, I will give you some examples later, PV installation or change of lighting. We propose a measure to the office who own this building, and we calculated the effects. One effect is the ecological effect, how less of CO2 we have by reducing our energy consumption. The other effect is how many costs do we reduce by this project. And then we calculate the cashback time. We accept cashback times up to 15 years. 15 years or up to the technical lifetime of this plant. This is the basis of our calculation. Then we make a contract. My office act like a contractor. We make a contract with the other office and we take the investment. Our office, we have a budget given by the city council and we make the investment. We gave the money to the office to the construction office or the other offices, and they install this plant or this measure. And the payback time, we calculated a yearly rate, and the payback begins 1 year after the investment was taken. So this is an internal process. You can do this also with an external contractor. So you don't need any budget yourself. You can use an external contractor, and he finances the measure for you, and after the payback time, you get the plant. We decided, because we have the person, we have also the budget at the beginning, we decided to make it by our own. But you are free. You can use it also, this system, with an external contractor. This, once again, these are the criteria. Examples, I will give you later some. And these saving measures, they have different levels. We started first with the low-hanging fruits. It's more easy. There are a lot of measures which are very easy to start, which have a low invest and a very, very short payback time. So we started with the low-hanging fruits, first to get some experiences, also to convince the others, because we got at the beginning, we got a discussion. Is it possible? How does it work? And so we started with the low-hanging fruits, and later on we are going higher and higher, the next level. There are sweet fruits, but all of these fruits are sweet. All of these fruits are sweet, but it's good to start first with the low-hanging fruits, because then you have first to get more acceptance for these instruments, because there are a lot of Bedenken, what's the name? There are a lot of concerns at the beginning. So you have to prove that the system works, so start with the low-hanging fruits. Here you see the implementing measures, more than about, I think, 300 measures in different invest and also different payback times. As you can see, the black and the pinks, they are at the beginning. These were almost low invest and really short payback times, up to 7, up to 8 years. In average, we have payback times of about 9 to 10 years of all of these measures. Looking at the cost savings, which is very, very important, here you see the red line. These are the accumulated savings only for this project. We have accumulated savings of about 24.5 million euros, and we invest, the provided finances are about 22. So we save about 2.5 million, which we gain. And all of these plans were financed, and all of these measures were financed totally. So we have no deficit, we have gained money during this project. This is very important. And from these 22 million invest, about 6-7 millions coming from the payback, because we get a payback. It's a fluently system. We get paybacks, we get new invests. It's a fluently system, and it works in this way. And the result is, I think, convince also our treasurer. Here's some facts about the energy saving. What you can see here, that at the beginning it was dominated by heat saving and also water saving, but the last years more and more electricity dominates our measures, like lighting, installing of PVs and so on. This is also an effect we recognize, because electricity, new technologies, their efficiency, but were introduced a lot, so electricity plays more and more a dominant role in our projects. The ecological effect is about 140,000 tons of CO2 we could reduce our emission, yearly about 12,000 tons. This is about 10% of the CO2 emission coming from the public building. 10% could be reduced only by this concept of interacting. Some examples. This is one of the low-hanging fruits, the insulation of top floors. It's very technical, simple. It's very cheap. The payback time is about 4.5 years. combined heat and power plant in public schools. We produce electricity and thermal power. It's very efficiency. The payback time, 3.5 years. After 3.5 years, this plant was refinanced. And these are also timetables which are accepted in a political way, and also in the Drescher. The Drescher also accept these things, which are very important. Photovoltaic plants, if you're looking at the till-mounted PV system, you have a payback time about 13 years. But these plants, they will have a lifetime of about 30 years. So the next 70 years, you earn money. You finance this, and later you earn money. Very simple, very simple. Integrating roofing membrane, they are much more, they cost more, and also the effect and the production is less, so you have a payback time of about nearly 25 years. So these are difficult in the argumentation to install these plants, so we're concentrating more on the till-mounted PV system. The investment in 2016 and 17 will be about, in Stuttgart, in the interacting system, of about 1.7 million euros. We are focused, like I told you before, on photovoltaic plants. Lighting, LED lighting is also a good thing to install. There you got a payback time of about 4, 5, 6 years, because the LED lighting getting more and more cheaper the last years. And at least the advantage or strategy, develop your own system. This is very important. Don't adopt anything given by other cities. You have to develop your own system, because you all have different structures, different responsibilities, different budgets, different political circumstances maybe. So develop your own system, but start with the low-hanging fruit to demonstrate that these things are working, that they are economical and also ecological at the same time. Very important is also that no extra cost for the customer. This is a big, big argument for the offices. They have no costs. Investment is taken by another office. This is also one of the biggest arguments. We take the risk. We have the risk. And what's very important is the win-win solution. You can promote it in your city council, by your political decision makers, and if you combine these things, economical and ecological aspects, I think it's a good argument again in the political decision or in the discussion with your city council. And very important is to install this system, or the prerequisites are that you know something about your energy consumption. So you need first an energy controlling system or something about this, because you need this system. You need the consumption to calculate your payback times and also to set priorities in your measures. At least drawback, we have to be better, even in Stuttgart. What I must recognize, I have 11 officers who are working in this system. My office have about 170 staffs, so we are one of the biggest environmental office in Germany, but we have 11 officers, but they are still not enough. We have the money sometimes, but we don't have the staff to realize all of these measures. We are on the list, so we are working on. And what's also sometimes is the payback period is limited. I said 15 years. We have some lighthouse projects. Actually, we finance a climate neutral sports hall. We invest 1 million euros. And the payback time is 30 years. And we got a very intensive discussion with our treasurer, who first said, no, the payback time is too long. But our Lord Mayor, we have a Green Lord Mayor in Stuttgart, he decided that we can take this invest, and the payback time is 30 years. But if we want to be a neutral city, climate neutral city in 2050, we have to act now and don't wait up to 30, 40, then it will be too late, like the colleagues said before. So thanks a lot for inviting me. Thanks a lot for the translation. Sorry for my crucial English. And thank you very much once again. I got it. Yeah.
Pozdravljeni, moje ime je Ula Hudina. V bistvu ne bo neposredno vprašanje za govorca. Prihajam z predstavništva Evropske komisije v Sloveniji in ker smo v prostorih EU hiše, bi rada zdaj izkoristila priložnost, da se navežem na predhodne vse tri jutranje govorce, ker v bistvu nekaj ključnih besed, ki sem si jih zapisala, omejena fiskalna zmožnost, tako države kot tudi občin, povezovanje več občin, privabljanje zelenih oziroma zasebnih naložbenikov, javno-zasebna partnerstva, energetska učinkovitost, od subvencij k finančnim inštrumentom, finančne platforme, vse to obsega naložbeni načrt za Evropo, morda ste slišali, morda niti ne, in ključne tematike, ki naj jih bi naložbeni načrt za Evropo pokrival, je tudi trajnostna finančna vzdržnost, energetska učinkovitost, trajnostni transport, oziroma teme, ki so na današnji konferenci. In v bistvu bi vas rada samo obvestila, da na predstavništvu Evropske komisije sodelavko Tino, ki tam spredaj v prvi vrsti, skrbiva za promocijo o naložbenem načrtu za Evropo oziroma o možnostih, ki jih nudi tako imenovani EFSI sklad. EFSI sklad ima jamstva iz Evrope, v Sloveniji jih izvaja SID banka. Danes sicer ni predstavnika SID banke tukaj, ste pozdravljeni, in na SID banki so tudi posebne linije za občine. SID banko zelo si želimo, da bi prišlo do več povezovanj v Sloveniji, zlasti na nivoju občin. Nekaj primerov smo zasledili, potencialno so prijavitelji tudi za to jamstvo v okviru EFSI sklada. Skratka, da ne bom predolga, za podrobnejše informacije o tem, ker se res navezuje na današnje tematike, smo na predstavništvu Evropske komisije vam vedno na voljo. Poleg tega, kot nadaljevanje današnje konference, pripravljamo konferenco 28. novembra, ki bo namenjena zlasti občinam in javnemu naročanju ter zlasti javno-zasebnim partnerstvom na področjih, ki jih danes obravnavate. Hvala, se upravičujem, ni bilo neposredno vprašanje za vas, vendar sem želela zgolj dopolniti projekt, ki ste ga vi predstavili, ker potencialno taki projekti bi se dali tudi izvajati v Sloveniji, v primeru povezovanj več občin, da se doseže neko kritično maso, ki je potem tudi privlačna za banko, če lahko se tako izrazim. Hvala.
Hvala.
Also, the project, our project is sorry. Okay, so our system is limited on the budget of Stuttgart. So we are responsible for our budget, so it's limited. It could be an example for others, yes? But what you can do is not to use this system as an internal system. You can use external contractors, like energy supplier, for example. There are also others, private private firms who offers you. In Germany, you have a lot of firms who offers you systems like this. Then they finance, they invest, and you have to and the payback goes directly to the firms up to 10, 12 years, and after this, the plant is get in your possession. But this system cannot be installed in a consortium because every community have their own budget. But you can, maybe like Mr. Schade told you, there are other possibilities about the bond. This would be a possibility, maybe he can something about this. But our system is limited on the budget, on our own budget, and cannot be transformed on 5 or 6 communities who install this system together. So, because we have our own responsibility, we have the own budget, and this is the budget of the city of Stuttgart, and the rules don't allow to build a consortium or something like this. So this is limited on our own. But maybe...
Yeah.
Just something which came to my mind thinking over it. I saw on the welcome slide Slovenian Eco Fund. I don't know anything about the Eco Fund itself, but maybe something could be built around that to say the Eco Fund is playing the role of the contractor. the Eco Fund is collaborating with volunteering municipalities.
Yes.
Not everybody has to. The Eco Fund would only fund projects in these areas, and the Eco Fund would get the money basically from the Ministry of Finance. So he would in some way play as a sort of an intermediary. That could be an option. I have no clue. Yeah?
Državni sekretar bi imel eno vprašanje? Komentar?
Dobro, samo en kratek komentar. Mislim, da bo potem tudi predstavnik Ekosklada tukaj z nami, če sem prav zastopil, tako da po mojem lahko mimo grede kakšen komentar navržel v tej smeri. Drugače, kar se tiče Junckerjevega sklada, ta reč je zanimiva, tudi država o tem razmišlja. Eden izmed projektov, ki bo uporabil, upamo, garancijo za to, da za en del, zato da se ga bo dalo speljati, je tudi vezan na trajnost, to je tisto, lahko rečemo, promovira se tudi s tem tovornjake na vlake, ne? To je drugi tir, najbrž ga poznate, in tu je za znižanje izpostavljenosti tveganjem Republike Slovenije na račun tega sklada. So tudi drugi razmisleki, dejstvo je, da gre za zelo velik sklad, za velike, se pravi, lahko rečemo tudi zahteve, ki so s tem povezane, in za male projekte gre res za to, da jih je treba nekako na smiseln način združiti, da potem dosežeš to ekonomijo obsega. Trenutno je morda nekoliko manj zanimivo tudi zaradi tega, ker ko sprošča Evropska centralna banka tam 60 milijard evrov na mesec, so obrestne mere kakršne so, ne? In ugotavljati, kaj s tem zaščitiš, se pravi, kakšen hedge delaš, ali so to, lahko rečemo, neke garancije, ali gre tu za nižjo obrestno mero in tako naprej, morda še bo, bom rekel tako, bo najbrž postalo znatno bolj zanimivo takrat, ko bojo obrestne mere začele rasti.
Dobro, hvala. Še kakšno vprašanje? Aha, Andrej.
I have a question for Mr. Hans. You said that this could be done internally or you can get an external partner. Yes. Why did the city of Stuttgart decide to go internal? And I heard some whispering in the back, so I will ask you this as well. What's the role of subsidies in case of renewables? To what extent did the projects depend on them?
Okay, first we decided to do it ourselves because we have the personnel. At the beginning, we have creating a new department, the energy department, and the energy department proposed it, this system, and it's also good for us for our internal development that we have the responsibility on this thing. And the second was we have the budget, we have the money, so we can spend. If you don't have the money, you have to use an external contractor, and for us, it was more easier to organize this in an internal way, and the first, it was a political decision. So, and the second was?
On subsidies. Subsidies for renewables in case of PV, for instance. Are these projects supported by public subsidies for renewable energy?
Public subsidies, what do you mean? Yeah, we install our own PVs. And these PVs were financed by our office. The PVs were installed on kindergartens, on schools, and the responsible for these PVs after installing this are the office for school, for social, and so on. But the financial was given, or the finances are given by our office. Is this not what you ask?
The feed-in tariffs. That was.
I interpret the question.
Yes.
Germany had a very generous feed-in tariff system. So this made the investments profitable.
Yes.
How did that play a role?
And now it's changing the system.
Yeah, it's changing. The system is changing, but you're still profitable. Now the system have changed because now you have to use the electricity that you produce up to 70% by your own. So you have calculated first, are there a lot of Bedarf? Request, yes, thank you. There are 70% request, and then it's profitable. Because we pay actually in Germany for kilowatt hour of electricity about 28 cents per kilowatt. So if you produce it by yourself, it's also profitable. The payback times getting more longer. In former times, you could finance a PV system as a private totally by bank, and you get money after 10 years, 11 years, you earn money. Now it's changed a little, unfortunately, but it's still profitable, but the payback time's getting more longer.
Another question?
Yep.
Če ne pa bolj na glas. Bravo.
Okay, hvala. Najbolj vprašanje najprej to. Mislim, da je prav, da se kdo izmed občin, zaradi katerih je v bistvu to tudi organizirano, kdo oglasi. Sam sem Vlado Mavko iz občine Gornja Radgona in poslušam prva dva izvajalca in se mi zdi zelo okej. Predvsem ta primer Stuttgarta mi je nekako bližje, bolj plastično bil predstavljen in se mi zdi, da nekako smo na tej, približno na tej poti, o kateri danes je predvsem gospod Zirkwitz govoril. Naj povem, da prihajam iz občine z 8600 prebivalci, ki je v letih 2006-2012 imela investicij za 40 milijonov evrov, 63% proračuna smo imeli investicijsko naravnanega in večino samo v te, oziroma podobne investicije, se pravi, to je bil sistem C, se pravi izgradnja transportnega vodovoda, tudi skozi našo občino, s katero smo hoteli optimizirati porabo vode, potem izgradnja čistilne naprave, kjer smo prav tako nekako vplivali na izboljšanje okolja z pomočjo evropskih sredstev države in lastnimi sredstvi, potem lahko, malo mi boste mogoče naše računovodke ne popravljali, okrog 70% naših stavb smo energetsko obnovili, tudi na način, kot gospod Zirkwitz razlaga, z nekako javno-zasebnimi partnerstvi. Zelo aktualno je bila fotovoltaika, ne en čas, ko je bila to zelo subvencionirana, zdaj je malo manj zanimivo, tudi zaradi odlaganja teh panelov fotovoltaičnih, čujem, da je to zelo zanimiva, oziroma tudi ekološko vprašljiva zadeva, tako da mislim, da smo na neki pravi poti, ampak končujemo vedno, žal pri nas pa na drugačen način, kot gospod Zirkwitz razlaga, mi pa imamo ta budžet nekoliko manjši. In še okrog participativnega proračuna, ne? Zadnjič nam je dr. Roman Lautar lepo razlagal, kako mi to izvedemo, participativni proračun dol na krajevne skupnosti, ne? Tam se pa konča, vete, v občinah, kot je naša, vse to asfalt rabimo. Prvo asfalt rabimo. Mi imamo zdaj razpis za male čistilne naprave, da sofinanciramo na teh obrobnih območjih občin 6 prijav. Ne? Toliko o tem, da moramo osvestiti tudi ljudi, vi nas, mi pa dol ljudi, kar pa ni ravno mala naloga. Pa gospod Zirkwitz, samo še to, prihajate iz Stuttgarta, čestitke za uvrstitev v prvo ligo, spet VfB Stuttgart, jaz sem veliki navijač. Hvala.
Hvala.
Thank you very much. Yes, I think that at the beginning, I think funding given by the European Commission or by the federal state is very important, and also the cooperation between the different communities. In Germany, we have different networks. Also on European level, we have networks. We are part of, for example, Energy Cities. Energy Cities is a European network where we work together with all cities over Europe. And also in these networks, we are looking for fundings and cooperation projects, which is very important because it makes more easier when you get funding to start a project. But for me, this is only one side. When we start a project, we are looking first, yes, at the funding, but also what is the target of the project? And the target of the project is that we, on communal level, get more independent from the fundings. This must be the target of such projects, to install systems which we can use every day. Lighthouse projects are very important, but what we need are more things, more instruments which we can use every day in our local decisions. This must be the target. And I hope that the EU, we heard about the important position of the role of communities. but I hope that these are not only words, that we get also financial supports, especially you in your country. And when we talked about, for example, participation, also participation coordinated by the community, by us, we coordinate this project, this process in developing our energy concepts. You need personal resources and you need finances. And when you get support in this process by federal, state, or by European Commission, this is more easier because we are there in a volunteer sector. And we know everybody who's working on local level that volunteer measures are very difficult in a political discussion, or when you talk about budgets, you first talk about the legal or the essential things, and maybe on third or fourth time about the volunteer. But I think without integrating our local actors, without participation, we won't reach our targets. Because when you're looking, I talked about the communal administration buildings, we have to act like a model. We have to show that the system works. But the local buildings, they are only responsible for 4% of our energy consumption. 50% in Stuttgart, 50% are used by industry, 30% by private households, 20% traffic. So 4% directly influenced by us, and the others, we need the partners, we need the European Commission. It's great that they think that we have an important role, and we used this important role, but we need also support. Yes. So my message to the European Commission, give us support, especially communities here in Slovenia, also for the participation process. They need fundings to install and to organize this process. Don't look only at the measures, look also at the participation and the structure and the personal resources you need for this process. This is very important. Okay.
Thank you.
Finish?
Hvala.